All right. Actually, usually I have these flipped now, so you can get all of them, and the individual, a general reading for each card can be seen properly. All right, so we're working with the past energy as first, as always, and just to pretty much put this straight out there, you guys have made a lot of transitions, a lot of moves. You guys have done a lot of, moving, obviously, right? A lot of traveling, either physically or internally. This is a lot of stuff going on, really. But most importantly, I feel like this is really a spiritual transition or a transition internally. You know, moving from one phase of your life to the next, leaving behind something that's familiar for something that is new and prosperous. And I feel like internally, yeah, it was kind of hard to see. It was really difficult to get out of your head there, because you know how thoughts can be pretty strong. But I feel like you pushed through. You've made the moves forward. You went out of your comfort zone, of course, and now here you are with the 10 of Cups. Happily ever after. This is feeling very good. This is also seeing, just finally being at the end of a cycle, right? It's wrapping things up, especially when it was hard to kind of get out of this gilded cage or this entrapment in your mind. It was, you did make the moves forward. You did push through it, because here you are, here you are with the 10 of Cups, recognizing the ending of a cycle. It's all emotional though, mental and emotional. So for those of you, this could be that this is somebody from a distance, or, going the distance, going a distance. But I feel like for some of you guys, as far as relationships go, you have made probably some strides to change or to make some sort of transition, and you may not have felt or seen it coming, or felt like there was a way to move forward from where you guys were, but it completed a cycle. Now with the present, you guys have the 7 of Pentacles. Now you're not sure exactly if you have enough, if you have enough to give anymore, or to put hard work in here, okay, in this relationship, because the 7 of Pentacles is finally seeing the fruits of your labor start to blossom, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done before you can harvest. So I do get the sense that, yeah, there is a bit of frustration, no doubt, but also a bit of doubt. Okay, a bit of doubt in regards to whether or not this is something you really want to continue working on and putting your effort into, because you've been putting so much work in it already. But internally, you have the Sun, so that means that you have clarity in regards to how you feel, Capricorn. There's a lot of clarity going on in regards to how you are feeling. But then at the same time, though, externally, there is the Star here. This is hope. So I don't know if this is necessarily doubt, guys. If perhaps this is more of, just feeling exhausted and knowing what you need to do, because you are willing to make the sacrifices necessary to continue work, putting your hard work into this relationship. I feel like right now you're waiting. You're putting a lot of time and patience into this, but ultimately you know how you feel. You see the potential for happiness, and it's maybe very far out of reach. Or it may be at a distance, but you can reach it. You can get it. You can tackle it and make it yours. So I don't really have any doubts with this. So ultimately, this is just feeling very tired and very, very, worked, but you are still making a difference. You still have hope here, which is excellent. Now, I like how it carries out onto the future, where you have strength, and that's talking about really, honestly, the endurance card is very, strength, and you need courage with this card too, especially with the future coming up as the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles talks about being, being stuck where you are on a very fundamental level, like not necessarily the world is keeping you down, but more like you've reached a place where you're stable. And you don't really want to leave from this yet, because you work very hard to get to a certain particular area. But it's going to take bravery, no doubt, to be able to take a risk, to go outside of your comfort zone, which has a lot to do with the Hermit Hierophant here, which really indicates, yes, routines, traditions, customs, but it also indicates here what you may face is different from the average, from the norm, from what you're used to, and that will definitely take courage, because this is talking about familiarity, the Four of Pentacles, and so is the Hierophant. But why would you need strength for something that you're used to doing? Whether this could be that you have to maintain a routine, but at the same time, I don't think so. I think this is more stepping outside of your comfort zone and tapping in dealing with something or doing something that's unconventional. So right now, yeah, I feel like right now there, yeah. So back to what I was saying about doubts. As far as things kind of like showing up to be pretty wonderful, you have the sun here in your emotions. You have the star here is in your external energy. Like you feel how you see the world, right? You have the happiness. How you see your happiness is yes, maybe at a distance, but you can gain it. You can have it. There's hope here, but there is a lot that needs to go down before you can get to the star. Right? There's a lot of work that needs to be put into it, and I feel like this work that's being asked to be put into here has a lot to do with you being strong and stepping outside of your comfort zone. You know, doing something that's not conventional, especially when it comes to relationships. Right? This is maybe continuing to date someone who isn't as religious as you are, or who doesn't believe in certain things, or is religious. Someone that may not be. Someone who may not be the same, or someone who your typical type is, but this person still makes you happy. This relationship still makes you happy, but you know what is going to be needed from here, and I feel like that's potentially where I felt the doubt coming from. Potentially is that there's going to have to be bravery here to overcome some sort of status quo. Because usually, you're all about staying in not staying in the status quo, but, doing what you're supposed to do. This is, you're Saturn ruled. So, staying along the guidelines, the rules, the, following directions. And this is defining that. It's defying those, it's not conforming. And it's going to require you to branch out and be your true self when it comes to all this. Your heart's desire here, and it's going to require you to be brave to overcome these obstacles to be able to gain what it is that you truly want. Be loyal and be committed to what your true desire is. And I feel like that's the scary part, because you don't know, there's not a lot of guarantee, right? With these two here, you always have guarantee, stability, and the same old. But with strength and pushing away from that, there is uncertainty. There is a bit of vulnerability that comes into this, because you're not sure of what's going to happen on the other side. And then with this, the Hierophant, you're committing to yourself. That's all you need, right? If you can commit yourself to what your heart's desire is, you can get to wherever you want to be. It's just like how they use the term, how people talk about, how Capricorns are the goats that always try to reach the top of the mountain. Well, this is the case, right? Are you doing it to achieve something that you've been truly wanting to do? And if that is your true heart's desire, are you going to go after it? Or are you going to stay at the ground wishing that you can make it to the top? And that's the hard part, right? Just being brave and making that step forward. So I see you, Capricorn. It's hard to make a decision, especially when you have been doing the same old work, right? But there's a new gate asking for some certain requirement, and I feel that requirement is a lot of work, being brave, and overcoming some sort of status quo here. And I feel like that you can have whatever you want. You feel it in your heart with the sun there. But it still can seem like it's out of reach, because you're not sure if you're ready to put in all that work. You're not sure if you're ready to be strong and make it happen for yourself. But that's just it. You made the transition here in the past. You made that transition. You made that move. You did what you felt like you could do, even though you felt internally like there's no way of getting out of it emotionally. Like you felt like there was no way out of it. But you made it happen with the Ten of Cups. You made that transition. You ended that cycle, even though you felt like there was no way of being happy probably ever again. But you've gotten to a better place since then. You've moved to better waters. Yeah, this is a lot of hard work. and it was all you're doing. You pushed yourself. You got yourself out of that uncomfortable situation, and you got into where you are now, where you have hope. Before, there was, it was a struggle to get here. It was a struggle, but you made it. You made it here. You can do it again, but this is for something that's truly resonating with your truth. But it's going to require you to be brave, just like you were here. Wow. So you have flirt that comes out of here. Out of all the other cards that came out, you guys have flirt, and it says extend your lighthearted energy to others. I believe it. For those of you that are single, that means get out there and mingle. And then for those of you that are in a relationship already, this means, it's communicating with your partner or getting back together or doing something that rebuilds the relationship. Putting in the work to make the relationship happen. Or doing whatever you have to do to be where you want to be. Because in my opinion, it's very similar to Yang from the wisdom of the Oracle, which is taking action. And I know this is not the time to really take a lot of action right now. Because the Mercury is gone retrograde. So any serious action is probably best not taken. But you have a pre-existing situation. There's nothing wrong with handling your pre-existing situation during a Mercury retrograde, I don't believe. But flirt, extend your lighthearted energy. Being brave is stepping outside of your comfort zone, and seeing how much you truly deserve, because of everything you've already been through. You have the bravery there, guys. You've done this before. You can do it again. But I know it's different stakes, different things, different tasks that you're being asked to do. But you can do it. You can do it, guys.